There's something alluring about Sega's retro design. It might be the mishmash of high-tech cityscapes and beaches, green fields and clear blue skies, creating something truly unique. Superdimension Neptune vs Sega Hardgirls tries to capture some of this aesthetic while keeping that Hyperdimension Neptunia atmosphere we all know and love. As always, the story is a bit nonsensical, if not a bit akin to a bizarre fever dream. Still, it ends up being just crazy enough to work. While searching for a way to restore the world from its apocalyptic demise, Iffy encounters a blue-haired amnesiac who fell from the sky called Segami. They both meet up with Histoire, who outfits Iffy's cool motorbike with a full-fledged time machine. Then they hop from era to era in search of the curiously named Sega Hardgirls in order to stop them from fighting the Sega goddesses, hopefully preventing the end of the world. Even if you've never played a Hyperdimension Neptunia title before, you can dive freely into this one. Important characters are reintroduced, and their relationships start off from square one. The game is also a dream come true for Sega fans. Throughout your journey, you will team up with and battle against Sega systems and CPU goddesses, including Mega Drive, Saturn, Game Gear, and Dreamcast. Each era you visit is unique, and while you will retread the same levels multiple times, each dungeon can have minor variances depending on the era. The untouched nature of Virtua Forest in the Mega Drive era will get a bridge in the Saturn era, and will ultimately end up looking like a barren wasteland by the Dreamcast era. For the first time in the series, missions are time limited. You can only apply for one mission at a time. Every time you complete a mission, the timer for each of the other missions drops by one. This means that the order in which you complete them is important. It's nowhere near as stressful as it sounds though, since you have multiple chances to complete each mission. Neptunia titles generally have minor changes from iteration to iteration, however this time the combat system received a beefy overhaul. Each action uses a chunk of the action gauge. Because of this, turn orders are far more flexible. You can do a single attack and fall back, conserving your action gauge and making sure you can act once again before the enemy. Or you can just go all out with special attacks and charges, hoping to take out the enemies before they get multiple turns in a row. Preventing you going all out bonkers with spells is the fact that every character has a max MP of 1000. Unlike HP, this is not recovered by leveling up, instead recovering very slowly in battles. On the other hand, the spells that you unleash can truly turn the tide against challenging enemies. For probably the first time in the series, boss battles can be really tough. The game isn't always explicit about what your best course of action is. It's easy to find yourself criminally underleveled against a seemingly unstoppable boss slaying your most powerful members in a single swipe. The wonky pacing also holds true for regular enemies. Some dungeons have enemies that are pushovers, while others manage to take out the party before you make a single move. Our advice is to save and save often. If you just can't manage to clear a dungeon, your best bet is to choose a different mission for the time being. One noteworthy addition in Superdimension Neptune vs Sega Hardgirls is its more fleshed out platforming elements. Your character can jump, dash past enemies, scale ladders and walls, shimmy on pipes, and crawl through holes to collect items scattered throughout the levels. Most of these are actually optional and don't require too much effort to get around. Don't expect the complexity of Mario or Sonic, but what is here does the job rather well and adds a level of freedom missing from past titles. As a Vita exclusive, Superdimension Neptune vs Sega Hardgirls won't blow you away with its visuals, but it manages to hold it quite well on the go. The game has nice big fonts, so you won't need to squint to read. It's only unfortunate that the Compile Heart's horrendous frame rate is back in full force. It doesn't make the game unplayable, but it definitely deters from the otherwise great atmosphere. Superdimension Neptune vs Sega Hardgirls is a solid title all around. Its weaker aspects are easily outshined by its ridiculous but engaging story, improved platforming, and overhauled battle system. Newcomers and longtime fans alike will be pleasantly surprised by this newest outing.